Yeah, so there I was, just hurting and hurting right here, lower right abdomen. And the only thing that would ease the pain at all was a hot bath. And I was taking 3, 4 baths a day. And it got to every time that I just tried to get out of the bathtub, it just hurt. So I would just drain the cold water out and fill it back with hot water. And after staying like 2.5 hours in the bathroom, you know, I'm only like 9 years old, 10 years old, so that other reason you spend that much time in the bathroom hadn't hit me yet. And my dad, he's like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you spending so much time in the bathroom?" And I told him, I said, "Look," I said, "I'm hurting so bad that the hot water is the only thing that makes it stop hurting." And he says, "But it turns cold." And I said, "Well, I just drained the water and filled it back up." Well, being from a conservative household, he was fit to be tied on that one. That pissed him plumb off. So he finally took me to the hospital. Now, I've been complaining about this for several days. I've been in pain. But he finally took me to the hospital. And the doctor that brought me into this world, Dr. Tom O'Connor, he diagnosed me with appendicitis and said my appendix had ruptured sometime back a few days ago, and that I should have been there when it first started noticing the pain. And and I'm like, "Well, what the hell's an appendix?" And they said that they got to take it out. I'm like, "What, am I gonna get a new one? I mean, y'all, what are we gonna do?" And they said we didn't need, the whole thing didn't need it. Then why do I have it and everything like that? So then it came to which hospital, because we're in Marietta, Oklahoma, the place I was born. The doctor that brought me into this world, but they're so far behind now that they can't perform the surgery, so they'll have to either send me 30 miles north, north to Ardmore, Oklahoma, or it's like I don't know, it's like 25 miles from Marietta to Gainesville, Texas, which is only 10 miles from home to Gainesville, and that's obvious choice. And instead of paying for the ambulance ride, Dad took me himself. And they was talking helicopter, because appendix had ruptured. I'm dying at this point. I've been dying for several days. But this is the only thing that ever put me down too. But so I get in, I have the surgery, and I remember in recovery, that I couldn't, I couldn't open my eyes, I couldn't talk, but I was conscious of what's going on. I knew my mom and a nurse was in the room with me, and that heart monitor that's on your finger, I thought that was what was weighing me down, because every time I tried to move, that's all I felt was the thing on my finger. So I finally got it kicked off with my thumb, and my heart monitor deadline, right? Me, flatline. My mom, I heard her. She shit a brick, y'all. inside my drug out comatose mind, I was laughing, but I couldn't even crack a smile on the outside. Oh, but being how that they thought that it just fell off, I was able to kick it off again. It wasn't as funny, because my mom and the nurse was all onto it. But anyways, so I done spent like a week in the hospital. Yeah, I spent like a week in the hospital, and they sewed me up real nice. No one ever told me that I was on drugs when they let me out. A 10-year-old on drugs don't know he's on drugs. He just thinks I'm awesome. And, well, first day, everybody goes to work, except I don't go to school. I'm still at home. My friends start getting out of school, come passing by the house, knocking on the door. First one knocks on the door. I'm like, "Yeah, give me a minute. I'll get dressed." I just got out of the hospital yesterday evening, So not even 24 hours out of the hospital, I'm jumping on my bicycle after riding it, tearing it up with them. That evening, I'm back in the hospital. Less than 24 hours, back under the knife. They put me back out. It wasn't near as inventive that time, I don't I don't even remember the recovery room, but I do. But like, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks later, after they let me out that time, I tried to go back to work. Yeah, I know. 10 years old, going back. I know. That's the way shit was in the 90s. Well, if you had a farm, anyways, I went back to work or tried. But it was watermelon season, and I couldn't make the lift for the melon into the trailer. There was a tear. I felt a uncomfortable sensation in my abdominal area. So I ended up just getting in the trailer and stacking the melons that my cousins brought to me. And when it come to pay time later on that day, Pawpaw was going to pay me like $20 more than what I'd made. And my Uncle Randall, he flipped the top on it. He's like, no, he didn't even work for half the wages. He said that boy shouldn't have been working at all. I seen him out there trying harder than anybody was trying. I got paid.